click on the Export Options tab. I'll show you what this does. If you select the option to use the database, whether database and mail or just simply database, you can configure how you want the database to export records for you. You're able to save them as a CSV file, which is a comma-separated value file, can be read by Excel or any other many other database programs. You can either specify the fields you want specifically, or you can just use export all fields. I always use this option because if I didn't want the fields in the form, then I wouldn't put them there. The separator for CSV export, sometimes separating by comma won't work for whatever software you happen to be importing to. If you need something else, you can add a character here that it will separate with. Also, this next option, export submit IDs, every time you add something to the WordPress database, it generates a unique ID for that individual. If you want those IDs included in the export, you can go ahead and check that box. I don't usually have a need for it unless I'm integrating with custom software anyway, so I'm going to leave that unchecked for now. We'll go over to the More Settings tab. There's only one setting here, Enable RSS feed. This is probably a bad idea when using people's personal information like email addresses and phone numbers, because it exposes that information to an external link. You see, if you were able to go here, you'd be able to see all the people who have created contact form, all people who have filled in your contact form in an easy to read XML format. It'd be great if you had software that was using that, but I would suggest not using it since you're going to be collecting personal information most likely. We'll go ahead and click the Save button. It'll take us back to the main page and say contact form created. You'll notice that there's a copy and paste code here, but Sticky Web Pages has kind of made it a bit difficult to get the whole thing, so we'll ignore that for now and we'll go back to the overview. As you can see, the test capture form is now there, and that form tag that we didn't copy on the last page is now here. So this form tag is what is going to allow us to put this on the page that we created for it. So copy this and then go back to Edit Your Pages. Choose the page that you want to put it on and click Edit. Somewhere on this page, paste the code that you created and click Update. We can now go back to the private test page, and you can see that we now have a form. We defaulted to Ryan as we set up. Go ahead and put in a phone number, email address, this is a subject, this is a message. Now go ahead and click here to send the form, and as you can see, a little message pops up. Your message was sent successfully, thanks. From here, if you go back into your dashboard, you'll be able to go back to Settings and Forms, and you can see that the totals just to the right of the form name have been updated. You now have one new contact and one total. You're able to view those by clicking on the View button. You can edit the form by clicking on Edit, or you can export the form to CSV by clicking Export. If we click View, I'll show you what this looks like. You've got the submit date, the client IP, and the request URL, where it came from, and you can view the information here. Ryan Willis, there's my phone number, and there's my email address, and my subject and my message, just as we set up. You can also delete these records, or delete all of them, by clicking this button here. Or, when you have a lot of records, you can decide how many you want to look at per page. Exporting, let's see this work. It's been a bit buggy lately, so yep, not there currently, but when you click that download link after clicking the export, you should be able to download a comma separated value file. Also, you can delete forms, which will remove this and leave only the code. So if I delete this form and go back here, all we get is the code. After which we can go back in and edit the page. To remove it or move it somewhere else. And those are the basics of how to set up your capture forms. You can add many different things to them, receive them in your email, or save them to the database. Thanks for listening in. Stay tuned for more trainings from MLM Jumper.